You know how they say never get high on your own supply? Well, this video is going to change all of that. Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. And today I'm going to teach you how to get high on your own supply. And no, I'm not talking about snorting anything or burning anything or injecting anything. As a matter of fact, that ship has sailed. What I'm talking about is the supply that all of us have. We're all born with it. And it's called our air supply. That's right. Today we're going to be talking about an active form of meditation called breathwork meditation. Breathwork meditation is perhaps one of the most effective and efficient forms of meditation I've ever come across. Now, I've been doing this for over 15 years. I've practiced all kinds of different types of meditation. And by far, breathwork is, in fact, the most healing, the most effective, and the most efficient form of meditation. Why do people meditate? So when people meditate, they're meditating basically to turn off their nervous system, to reset their nervous system, to feel some sort of inner peace inside. Because we live in cities where there's lots of noise and distractions, and for some, it's a constant assault, like me, on the nervous system. So there's things that you have to do to regenerate that nervous system. I mean, for the same reason that we take care of our bodies with sleep, we sleep to recharge our bodies, meditation is a way of recharging our energy, of recharging our spirit, our soul. So some people think that meditation is just something you can choose to do or not do. But I'm telling you right now, meditation is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And moving forward in the years to come, you'll see it's going to become more and more important that we add this to our routine, okay? Because we do all kinds of things to try to sort out our minds and sort out our bodies and make sure that they are healing in so many different ways. But what do we do for our energy? Do we even know how to help our energy? Well, I'm telling you, meditation is the number one way, because when you sit still, let's talk about stillness meditation for a moment. When you sit still, you're basically making an attempt to turn off your senses. By turning off your senses, you're turning off the assault that is happening on them, all the noise, all the disruptions that are happening in your environment, just so that you can reach a state of inner peace, of calm. Right? It's the same reason that people go out into nature. You spend more time with nature and you become more like nature. Nature doesn't worry about anything. So you start to take on that energy, and your nervous system has a similar response without any effort at all. But we don't have that luxury. Most of us do not have that luxury to live in a supernatural environment and still live our lives and survive the way we need to in society. So meditation is a way to regenerate your energy, because oftentimes when we sleep, we're not even sleeping deeply. And so how are we recharging our energy? We're not. We're just closing our eyes for a certain amount of time. We wake up tired, we've got to have coffee in the morning, and the whole cycle repeats itself. So meditation is important. It's for many reasons. And many people have certain intentions for their meditations. But the primary reason is just to feel better inside, to take a break from this outside world that is just inundated with noise and activity and disruptions and distractions, right? So this form of meditation, breathwork, is an active form of meditation. So even though you're not creating stillness, this activity is actually encouraging certain chemicals, because our bodies are chemical factories, are encouraging certain chemicals and hormones to be released in our bloodstream that reach certain glands and certain organs in our body that produce reactions that cause us to be in a state of bliss or in alignment or centered or grounded. And I'll tell you, point in fact, there is no meditation as effective or as efficient that I have found in the past 15 years as breathwork meditation. There are so many benefits to breathwork meditation. I'm just going to list a few. The first is to reset your nervous system and to enhance your immune system, to reach higher states of consciousness so that you can get clarity on issues that you're facing in your life, or perhaps some hurdles that you're facing, something that you need clarity on. See, breathwork turns off that frontal lobe of your brain, that thinking mind, and allows access to other centers of your brain, which allow you to reach higher conscious states. In breathwork, I've experienced vision states, I've experienced being out of body, I've experienced hearing messages, I've experienced seeing people in my visions, because as you're breathing, your lungs are releasing what's called dimethyltryptamine, which is DMT. It's the main constituent in ayahuasca. This is why people are taking ayahuasca like it's fucking NyQuil. It's because it releases DMT. The main constituent of it releases DMT, and DMT opens your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is like an eye inside of your brain. As a matter of fact, that pineal gland has rods and cones just like our physical eyes. Now, why would our inner eye need rods and cones just like our physical eye? Well, because our inner eye can perceive light too. And the more pressure that is applied to that pineal gland, the more that these chemicals are squeezed out, and other chemicals also from your hypothalamus and your corpus callosum, like serotonin and endorphins, which produce these blissful like states. So not only are you going to get clarity, not only are you going to reset your nervous system, not only are you going to increase your immune system, but you're also going to be healing yourself in states of bliss every time. Because like I said, breathwork meditation, after 15 years of doing this work, is the most effective and efficient meditation for reaching those states of bliss, which ultimately lead to healing on every level. Now, in 2019, pre-COVID, I was teaching breathwork classes once a week for the entire year. And I can tell you that not only were people having visions and healing emotionally from deep emotional wounds and childhood traumas, but people were actually having physical healings as well. I had a gentleman come in one week. He did the breathwork. It was his first time. He only came in because his daughter was coming regularly, so he decided to come with her one time. And he had an amazing experience. At the end of my classes, I would normally ask people to share what their experience was like, because sharing is caring. I'm kidding. Sharing actually helps people. It helps people to integrate their experience, and it makes it more real for them. But this gentleman didn't want to share. He seemed to be in a state of shock. So I honored that. I didn't force him to share, obviously. And then next week he returned. We did the breath work again, and then after the breath work, he decided to share. And what he shared was absolutely incredible. He told me that he had been dealing with shoulder pain for 13 years, and it actually limited his mobility in his shoulder as well. But the breathwork class that he attended the week prior, that pain had disappeared. After 13 years, that physical pain in his shoulder disappeared. And he didn't want to share because he didn't know if the pain was going to come back or what would change. And he said after a week, he has not felt the pain, not one bit, not even 1% of that pain. So when he returned for that second week, he decided to share because he said something magical is happening in these breathwork classes. And all I could do was smile and nod my head, bringing us back to the fact that everything is energy, even our physical bodies. So as we're breathing in this way, as we do this breath work, we are increasing the vibration of every cell in the body. And those cells that were holding on to things, whether they're emotions or thoughts or physical inflammation, those cells can now open. And there's room for this inflammation or this negative energy, whether it's thoughts or emotions or traumas, there's room for this energy to leave. The inflammation gets removed and pain disappears. It's no longer registering on the nervous system. So you guys, this is just one example. I have a million stories of how breathwork has changed my life. That's why I became a practitioner. So, in line with all this, and this video is already way too long, I want to invite you to come on May 23rd, Friday, May 23rd. I hope that's the day, 9th, 16th, 23rd. Yes. So in 2 weeks from today, on May 23rd, I'll be hosting my first breathwork class since 2019. And we're going to be doing it at a place, a beautiful crystal shop called the Crystal Shrine in Burbank, California. And it's right off of Magnolia, off of Lima, off of one of the side streets, Lima. And you're absolutely going to love this place. But more than this place, you're going to love the breathwork that we do, because we're going to be doing it in a group setting. And it's much more powerful in a group setting than it is on an individual session. or an individual private setting. I hate to say that, but it's true, because the more energy in the room, the more things can change. So I invite you to come. It's just a small fee. We'd love to see you, and there's gonna be massive, massive change happening for you. So I know a lot of you have been waiting for this class. There are limited spots available. I believe we only have room for about 20 people in this class. So please register soon, and you can see more information in the description below in this video. All right, you guys, much love, stay blessed, and do the work.